According to famed pollster John Zogby, the conventional wisdom about America that we're isolated from the world, politically fragmented, and inclined toward material pleasure isn't just flawed, it may be 180 degrees from the truth. In his illuminating new book, The Way We'll Be, the Zogby Report on the Transformation of the American Dream, Zogby draws on thousands of in-depth surveys and reveals a new and developing American character, one that will influence everything from the politicians we vote for to the goods and services we buy to the way we conduct our daily lives. Do you think that Palin has something to do with the most recent rise on McCain's side?
She does. You know, McCain had already started to consolidate his base. He did that. I think Obama helped him with his overseas trip. I think that Obama in Europe really scared a lot of conservative voters.
Like, because they could see how popular he was.
Exactly. This young man can be elected. We better rally around our guy. And, you know, conservatives had been a little cool to McCain. Then I think the Russia-Georgia crisis kind of put a premium on that old tough super patriot military guy, John McCain, talking tough. And as you know, at that point in time, Barack Obama was on vacation. On vacation. These things kind of count.
All add up. Now, why is August? It seems August is a month for Democrats where they don't do so well. Why do you think this is?
Well, normally what happens is that they secure the nomination in July, take some time off in August. Republicans beat them to a pulp in August, and then they never recover. You know, Jimmy Carter, 1976, got the nomination, was 30 points ahead of Gerald Ford. And then beginning in August, he ultimately won by 1 point. We know the Michael Dukakis story. Same thing, went on vacation, got his brains beaten in, as did John Kerry. This time is different in the sense that Obama had a bad August, but then he had his convention afterward.
Right, which was a good convention.
Which was a good convention. However, you asked about Sarah Palin, and Sarah Palin, you know, in many ways stole a lot of the thunder from the Obama speech. It is breathtaking how layered that choice of Sarah Palin was, what a successful pick it was. It's hard for me to even believe that McCain's team could have been as smart as it turned out to be, because it really was a home run choice. And so,
well, what do you think about her, though, the validity of her possibly being our vice president?
Well, first and foremost, Americans aren't going to vote on vice president. It never matters more than 1 point, one way or another. What the vice president choice is good for is 72 hours after the announcement. Either it helps you a lot or hurts you a lot. In this case, Sarah Palin, number one, just undercut Barack Obama's speech and sucked all the oxygen out of the Obama campaign. She became the new fresh face in August. But secondly, less for women and about women. She's so much more about throwing red meat to conservative voters. She's a very conservative woman. And so what she's been able to do is help further John McCain's consolidation of the conservative base, which above all gives McCain cover now to be above it all, to be the centrist maverick. I'm not only running against the Democrats, I'm running against my fellow Republicans. I'm not running against pork that the Democrats want. I'm running against the Republicans and the lobbyists. That's pretty compelling for people.
Now, apparently, or what I read in your book, Obama appeals to the mind and McCain to the gut. Which of these do you think is more important to the undecideds? Or what is more important to them in, as far as the strengths or weaknesses in a potential president?
Do you know, it always varies, you know, but in 2004, we pioneered with the question, Gore versus Kerry, Kerry versus Bush, who would you rather have a beer with? And Kerry won on the issues and won in the minds, but more Americans wanted to have a beer with George W. Bush and wanted a bond with him. In this instance, I think you have two very exciting, two very compelling faces, visions, stories that Americans can bond with. One is the immigrant's story. He's also the new face of America. This is the demographic of our future. To young first globals, Barack Obama isn't even an African-American president. He's
that was another question I had, was how much do you think his race might affect the outcome?
Well, you know, it's going to be about 10 to 12% of voters who won't vote for him because he's
just
black.
Because of that.
However, how many of them were not going to vote for Hillary or Joe Biden or whoever the Democrat was? So let's cut that in half. So we're looking at 5 or 6%. Now, that can still be a lot of people if it means people who might have voted Democrat and now aren't because of race. And it can loom very large at 5 or 6% if you're talking about 17 or 18 states that are too close to call. So Obama has some making up to do.
So what do you think the outcome will be?